I think that as the tariffs do start taking effect, you're going to see slight increase in used cars, not because there's any tariff on the car itself, but when you recondition the vehicle and the dealership is used to putting $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in the service department into that car, some of those parts are going to start to increase in price.
This is the Healey Brothers Podcast.
Well, welcome back to the Healey Pod. We got Brian, our used car director, and myself, Jay Healey. We're going to go over tariffs in the used car market, where they are, why people don't need to panic, and just give them a good outline of where the used inventory is compared to the new, and we'll just give them a breakdown of what Healey Brothers has available as well. So you just want to start off with a little overview of the used car market, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'd say the last 60 days has been a little tough to predict. It changes weekly, sometimes even daily, depending on what the Trump administration is able to accomplish with some of these other countries. So, as I've said in a lot of these other podcasts, the used car market is predicated by the new car market. So whatever happens to the new side typically flows to the used side. If new car prices go up, used car prices go up. If new car demand is super high, typically that's going to affect the used car market. But I'd say right now we're doing pretty good overall. You see some values increasing a little bit. The wholesale market is increasing in value a little faster than the actual retail market is. So there's always a gap of what the wholesale valuation is versus retail, and typically, there's a gap between it, but it's narrowing, where wholesale transaction values are rising faster than what dealers are changing used car prices at. Which
and is that just in our market, or is that overall like a trend in the
no? I think
States?
It's just a trend overall, everywhere. So right now you can still get some pretty good deals. You have manufacturers like Ford and Chrysler who have employee pricing for all. So
just to summarize that's under invoice pricing. So
yeah,
you're getting a deal under what we pay, what Ford employees pay at the factory, and all that stuff.
So that in that case, that actually makes the used car prices a little bit less, because if you're able to get a new car at under invoice and everyone's able to get it, well, then you can't ask X for that same used car. It has to drop a little bit. So again, we're riding the wave.
Yeah, it changes every day. He just made a deal with the UK, which is good for Land Rover, Jaguar, Aston Martin. Granted, it's not vehicles we sell, but overall it's good because deals are getting made. Also, you see a lot of investment from the Koreans and in other countries trying to get rid of these tariffs or make them fair, because for a long time trade was unfair. So what does tariffs mean for our used car inventory compared to the new car inventory? Granted, I think there's a lot of things in place, say like some manufacturers came out and say, hey, we're not going to raise the price for right now until June 2nd, and then we're going to relook at it. Then we have the employee pricing. So there are things that the factories are doing, but when a customer is like, oh my God, all they hear on the news is tariff, tariff, tariff. Well, what are they seeing? What's happening with the used inventory compared to the new inventory, and what could be in the future as of now? Granted, it could change tomorrow.
Yeah. But if you just looked at the news, you'd think that the car industry was blowing up.
Yeah.
But when I'd say that most people that work in the car industry in a car dealership probably didn't see very much change in the last 30 or 60 days. It's been business as usual. But I think that as the tariffs do start taking effect, you're going to see slight increase in used cars, not because there's any tariff on the car itself, but when you recondition the vehicle and the dealership is used to putting $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in the service department into that car, some of those parts are going to start to increase in price. So it's going to be, I think it's small, it's incremental, but
and it's going to be smaller incremental compared to a new car that's coming from outside of America being assembled. So granted, like you said, it could change tomorrow. He seems like he's on fast track, but also I think one thing we're seeing is a little bit slower demand. Our year over year from May 2024 to now is we have the same pretty much right in line.
Yep.
But then you're hearing other dealers that are 20% off the mark. I think Morgan Auto Group down at, granted, different market down in Florida, said he's 20% off his mark, which is scary for him, for a guy that has 73 or 76 stores, whatever it is. But for us, we seem to be lined up. It means our pricing's good. So what are some things that we have that are available for our customers that, granted, I know we have the factory employee pricing, but it's something we could always talk about. But on our side for used cars, certifieds, how are we pricing? How are we doing? How are we dealing with the reconditioning now?
I think what affected some dealerships is that they either from the top management or they allowed used car managers to go in and just raise prices. And that really affected, because you had some dealers that, you know, say half the dealers were just raising prices thinking that these tariffs were going to take effect and new car pricing was going to go up, and didn't really happen. So now you've got half the pricing of cars are very, you know, aggressive, and the other half are just super high. And I think those dealers that made those preemptive changes that really didn't come into effect, they got hurt.
And what was our strategy?
We just, you know, you just daily look at the market and just take a look.
And grind it out. Don't make rash decisions.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
you know,
Don't panic.
If you have a vehicle that all of a sudden, you know, 30 days ago there were 40 in the market, but today there's only 9, and the supply is, or the demand is super high, those are the ones that you make tweaks to. Maybe your car now is a much more desirable car, but if nothing changed from 30 days ago to today, you're not going to raise prices. I mean, and to be honest, you're going to drop the price because now the car's 30 days older.
So, I mean, that's a good thing. We don't panic when times get tougher. We kind of wait to see how things unfold. Because too much drastic things obviously cause demand to go down. And then
I mean, you get some groups that, okay, I had everything, just raise the price $1,000 every single car, $2,000 every single car. It just doesn't make sense. Every car stands on its own, and a vehicle that has a 6-month supply because there's just too many out there is not the same as a car. Make a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. You know, that car is always going to transact for $50,000 to $100,000 more than what it was brand new MSRP. You can't look at the two the same.
Yeah, and then also I think it's a little different for us too, because we're not carrying a bunch of high line as well. We're carrying more of the domestic, the Korean brands. So that's something a little different, and we could add. Do you want to touch on what do we have for some affordability when it comes to the used inventory, and how we still have those everyday low prices on that side?
We have been lucky, and we've been able to keep as many used cars as possible. And we have, I think today it's like 92 cars priced at that $20,000 and under mark. So that's the goal, is to keep. And
I think we have a few even at the 10,000 mark, but even under 15.
Yeah, there's a few. Yep, there's even a couple new cars that are at that $20,000 to $22,000 mark. You have a couple Hyundais, a couple Mitsubishis. So that's really the affordable threshold. You know, going back years ago, it was everybody wanted a $10,000 used car, but you know, those days are pretty much gone. So we're able to offer, like I said, almost 100 used cars for $20,000 or less. Some of those are certified. Many of those have under 100,000 miles, but there's a broad range of. You know,
and then obviously we have special rates out there for consumers and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I know the rates are still a talking point, but we do have some better rates.
Better than they used to be.
So that could bring some consumer confidence back. So what advice would you give a consumer right now? I mean, I kept saying, I think last week I was saying, like, there's no reason to panic. We're here to give you info and help you make the right decision for you. But
I'd say the same. Don't panic.
Yeah.
Life is going on as normal, and whatever is going on today could be completely different 7 days from now.
Yeah. And don't make any rash decisions or anything like that. And you won't see, like, any of our markets not like pushing, panicking, oh my God, buy before tariffs. It's more just informing. We have these tariffs coming. We'll inform you. That's why we're doing these videos like this. That's why I did the video last week. But these are important things, and they could always rely on us to talk about. But I think not panicking and analyzing what they're doing and ask. That's what we're here to have. We have professionals at every single store. We have professionals in our consumer care center that could really help you through this and help you understand, because not every car is affected. Cars are affected a different way. We're even learning every day from what's going on. It's always a moving target. All right. So is there anything else that you want to share about the used car? How many used cars we have on the ground?
It's about 400. It always seems to be about 400. We'd love to have 500, but we're turning our inventory every month. So that just means that we're selling about 400 every single month, We keep 400 in stock. You'd love to have more, but acquiring vehicles is tough. Going back to what I said earlier today about the wholesale prices that have risen faster than retail pricing. So it's very difficult to go out and find another 100 used vehicles if you have to pay too much for it, and then you can't be competitive pricing to the market.
Yeah, and we're trying to buy vehicles too from our service drive and all that stuff. So are we having any more success with that? Customers willing to sell their vehicles, or are they just willing to trade out?
I'd say most of the time they're going to trade out, and that depends on the market. I mean, if you're in, let's say, a higher end market in northern New Jersey, closer to New York City, Westchester, where a family might, even an average family might have 3 cars when really they only need 2, or they have 8, they only need 1 or 2. I'd say in our market, typically the households, it's, each adult has 1 and they need it for commuting, so they don't have that extra vehicle to sell, but it does happen. I'd say taking it out of service typically is just because there's a new car lease option or purchase finance option that's really aggressive and makes sense for that we're able to keep payments the same, have a 3-year newer car,
and we are offering
lower
top
payment.
dollar for those too. So it's not like we're undercutting trade because we need to use inventory. We're paying top dollar. We're very transparent in that part too.
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, I mean, our used inventory is good. It's healthy. We have affordability for everyone. There's no need to panic when you see the news. And so like that, we're learning every day what tariffs are going to have. We'll keep relaying the message. And that's that. But we do have affordability on the news side, and we're always going to be here to help you get the car you need and make sure we answer all your problems. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.